come to show you how I made my baby sleep sack and the other things I made. Actually, I'm gonna show you a couple things, but then I'm gonna give you some tutorials because I'm not a professional tutorial person. So I'll just give you the basics of what I did, and then I'll give you some tutorials to show you, do you have someone to go by, you know, like for real. Okay, so I'm gonna show you what I did for my baby sleep sack. What I do first is I draw out kind of what I want it to look like. Just a basic shape that I want it to be. And normally that's all I do, then I just do it. But I wanted to try to keep track of things for you all. I still didn't do that great of a job, but but I did the best I could. So first you need, for the size that I have, which is this one, I chained a 10-inch chain. For me, that was 22 chains. Might be different for you, just as long as it's about 10 inches, give or take. It doesn't have to be exact. And for this yarn, I used, let's see, where is the label? Oh, for someone who might not know, this is the yarn. And I use 2 strands at one time because it's thin. And I like mine thicker, so I put 2 strands, I work with 2 strands at the same time. And this yarn is hard kind of to see on the screen, I think, to work with. So I'm going to be using this one, which is the same thickness if you add that together. And it's still Bernat blanket yarn. But I made a 10-inch chain, and I did a basic tote bag bottom, basically. But I'll show you just real quick what I did. I'm making a short one just for this. So I just made a chain. You can make it as wide as you want it, but I did a 10-inch. And then what you do is, I used, for this one I used half double crochets, but you can use a single or a double, but I like the half double crochet for this. In the 3rd chain from the hook, you do a half double crochet across the chain. I'm not good at doing this on camera, y'all, so sorry. So you just go all the way to the end. You just go all the way to 1 before the end, not the very end. Leave 1, the last chain, then I'll tell you what to do. Let me get there. Okay, I am 1 before the chain. There's 1 chain left. You do 3 half double crochets in that chain. 1, 2, and 3. There are different tutorials on this. Some people, there's a little variation. Some people do, but for this one, this is just what I did. So that's 3 in that very last chain, and then you kind of go on to turn it around. You're not going to flip it. You're just going around the other side of it. And then in the next chain, make sure you don't get the hole where you just left off. Not that one, but the actual next chain up here. You start doing another half double crochet. And then you go back to the other end. I don't think this is a very good video. Y'all can't see what I'm doing. You just go all the way to the end. And it's becoming like an oval. Go all the way. Then when you get to the very end, you do 3. Yeah, you do 3 on this very last one too. I believe that's what I did. And you kind of make it that you turn, it's like turning the corner a little bit. So you have that. So that's the bottom of your bag, of the sack. And then, so those things. So then you go all the way, just one in each again, till you get to the other end. And you just do 1 half double crochet in every one, no increases. You just keep going around and it'll get more and more like this. And that's what forms this part, because now it's like a sack. Okay, so I did a few rounds so you could see. Now it's like a little opening. Now I'm here at the, before I'm getting ready to go to the end, and I did 10 rounds for this. So you count starting here, 1, 2, and you count, keep doing it till you have 10. And then once you get on your corner, I did 1 increase on each side to make it, see how it's just flaring out just a little bit. It's not even very noticeable, just enough where it comes out just a little bit here. That's where I do 1 increase. Increase is doing 2 stitches in the same stitch. 2 half double crochets in the, on the end there, but 2 in the same one. Then half double crochets across until you get to the other side. Okay, I'm at to the other side. I'm gonna put 2 half double crochets in this next stitch. See, it's poked out a little bit. And then you just do half double crochet. Let me see. Okay. Yep. Do half treble crochet to the end of this row. Round again. Let me see. Wait a minute. I did it. Okay. Edit time. Okay. So there's an increase on this side and there's an increase over here. This is where you, if you want yours to have the opening, if you want to have an opening in it, you only go halfway. So I'm going to take out a few of these. Okay, so this is where I left, this is where I did the increase. So I need to go halfway and stop. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, it depends on how many stitches. It's going to be different for everyone, depending on how big they're making theirs. So let's say I'm halfway through, and I'm going to stop right there. Then what I did was chain 2 and then turn my work, and then I'm going to go back this way and do half double crochet all the way across, all the way around. So you're doing this, so you're going back this way. And you keep going back and forth till you get it as to the height that you want it to be. And no increases, you just go in each stitch. I hope y'all can understand what I'm doing. I don't have the right camera angle and all that to be able to show you. Then I'm going to show you what to do when you meet the other side. Okay, so I'm about to meet up with this one right here. Go right up to it. And then this is the one right beside it. See, it's split. But I want you to go ahead and go into the same stitch that this one is in. That reinforces that a little bit. So that's in the same stitch as this. Okay. And then chain 2 and turn, and then go back the other direction. And you just keep doing that until you get to the height that you want. Let's see the back, that's where the opening is. And this is where this one is right there. So you keep going as high as you want it. Keep going back and forth till it's as high as you want it to be. And that's what you have. And of course, I'll tell you about the border in a minute. And let's see. Then once you get to, let's see. All right. Once you get over to here, and once you go as tall as you want it, and when you come back around, if you go here, it's going to be too tall. So you have to back up to over here, to about right there, and then do a single crochet, and then a couple slip stitches to bring it down so that this stays even. Because if you bring it all the way up, the one that's going to be up a little higher than this one. So you got to stop over here. Let me see if I can show you on this side. No. I'll go on around and then I'll show you. Okay. Let's say this is how tall I want it to be. This is the height. I'm good with that height. But see back here, if I keep going, and it's gonna make it too tall. So what you do is you go to the corner, go to the end here, to the edge, go all the way up to the edge, not all the way. One before you get to the edge. I'm doing half doubles. So now I'm gonna do a single. And then I'm gonna do a slip stitch in the next one. And then I like doing 2 slip stitches, do another slip stitch in the next one. And then that Kind of makes it a little more even. It's not going to be exact, but once you get your border on, you won't be able to tell, but at least it's now it's, this side is even. And there's your split. I hope I could see that okay. Okay, so that is the actual, that's the sleep sack itself. And I'll show you about the border. Okay, so here is what it looks like. Imagine it, of course, being bigger and taller. And see how this I didn't do, this is the end. You would sew that in. And then now it's even across here. So now you would do your board. Oh, I did the amount of rounds that I did after I did the split to go up for mine was 16 rounds. So this was 10 and then this was 16. So that's 26 total rounds from top to bottom. Okay. All right, so now I'll show you the border. This also is there is a tutorial for this one that you want, if you want to see it a whole lot better than what I'm showing you. And the tutorial is, let's see, Bella Coco. It's called the Wavy Border Tutorial. And I just know how to do it, so I just did it. But if you wanted the tutorial to watch her, you know, that's what it is. So, let me see. You just start on the end. Just start. Let me see. Yeah, I just started on the end here. Just attach your yarn. Okay. Now, okay, you attach to the first stitch, go back in that same stitch and do a single crochet. The next stitch is a half double crochet. The next stitch is a double crochet. And so you see it's getting bigger as it goes. It's going up. So that's, I said, a single, a half, and a double. And then the next one is 3 triple crochets in the next stitch. 3 triple crochets in the same stitch. You see how big that is? And then in the next stitch, do a double crochet. The next stitch, do a half double crochet. Half. And then the next stitch is a single crochet. Then the next stitch is a slip stitch. Oops. Slip stitch. Okay, so that is the wave. That's 1. So then you repeat. The next stitch is a single crochet, a half double crochet, a double crochet next. Let's see. So I did a single, half, and double, then 3 triple crochets into the one stitch. Okay, and then a double crochet in the next, half double in the next, single in the next, slip stitch. So that is another one. Of course, mine is very small, so that's why it looks awkward, but but this is what it will look like. Like a wave. And just keep going, keep doing that pattern over and over again until you get to the end right here. And that gives you the little wave look at the top. And like I was saying earlier, it's because I could bend it down, and also if you didn't want it to be all the way up on the baby's face like this, you could bend it down and have it like that. Or up. So I think that is it. That's all that I did, I believe. You know, that looks a little awkward, doesn't it? But so that's all I did with that. You tie in your ends, and I'm going to put a little button right here so that like this stays not up here, I don't think, just on the down here, and that way it stays, it won't flop open. You can just get the button loose and then you have it so it won't like that. But so that is how I basically did this. I hope it was clear enough. I'm sorry if it wasn't, but I am planning on doing a sleep sack crochet along in the fall. I don't know exactly when yet, but that one I'm planning on having be prepared and set the camera up where you can see my hands and have everything, you know, written out, how many stitches, how many this, and how many that, better than this. This was just a quick thing because I hadn't planned on it. And so I hope that y'all understood it well enough that you could make one if you're planning on making one for that. And like I said, there's the tutorials for these basic parts. You just type it in the YouTube, it'll come up. The tote bag bottom, the wave border, when that was Bella Coco, I told you if you wanted to use hers. And so that was for that. And then for the hat, this is a basic beanie hat. I did not use a tutorial for the hat because I just know it by heart. But any basic baby hat, beanie, is what this is. And for the ears, I did go to a tutorial, Crochet Crowd, and it's a teddy bear ear hat or something like that. And I used the pattern he used for the ears. And he actually shows you how to do a hat. So if you wanted to do the whole thing with that tutorial, but this beanie is just what I did by memory. And I love the little ears. It's cute. So that's the hat. That's, like I said, Crochet Crowd with Mikey. And then this. This is, like I said, it was originally supposed to be a lovey. I was making a lovey. And where's my little book? I have this book that tells you the standard sizes of things. See, here's blankets and stuff like that. And it says a lovey is supposed to be 10 by 10. Just the basic. But I think that was a little too small, so I did 12. I wanted it to be 12 by 12 because originally I was making a lovey. So what I did is I just did a 13-inch chain, and I did the moss stitch to get this. I don't know if it's hard to see with this patterns, but this is the moss stitch. And basically, I mean, that's a tutorial. Let me see. I just used a pattern off of a lady was doing, it's a cardigan. She was doing a cardigan and she was using that stitch, and I just looked at that to remind me how to do it. And so I just made the chain 13 inches long. Then back on that chain, I went to the, let me see, the third chain, made a single crochet, chain one, skip one, single crochet, and kept going across, all the way across the chain. And then at the end of that, I think it's a chain two, turn it, and then go into the hole, not into the stitch, go into the hole, the single crochet, chain one, single crochet into the hole, and you keep going doing that all the way back and forth. And that's the moss stitch. I think it came out pretty, if this wasn't variegated, you'd be able to see the stitch a little bit better. And but I like it. So I just made it, you know, and it came out to about 12 inches. And then I put the same border that's on here that I just showed you. It's the same border, same thing I did on here. And I just kept on and around, and I just fudged the corners. If it didn't do right, I just made it up as I went. So that's why it's like blobby looking. But that was okay. I wanted it just to be, you know, it's not perfect. It's just the shape. And so the measurement is coming out to about, some spots is 13 inches, some parts is 14, you know, where up and down. But like I said, I end up making it more like a mat than a lovey. It could go either way, however he wants to use it as, or his mom, you know, whatever she decides. There'll be more made, you know, there's be more, you know, bigger and everything. So that was this. Well, that is all of it. I hope that was clear enough. And I'm so sorry if it wasn't. I guess you could, give me some questions if something you weren't sure of. Like I say, I wasn't prepared to do like a real tutorial and have everything like as I should. And I am, disclaimer, I am definitely not a teacher type of thing. So, but I hope you at least enjoyed a little bit of seeing how I came up with my little sleep sack for my little man when he gets here. And I will definitely be taking pictures of him using the things that I've made, so y'all can see how it came out, how it, you know, how well it fit and all that kind of stuff. And but all right, I hope that was helpful. And I guess I will be talking to you all later. All right, have a blessed night.